Hello everybody, it is Hunter and welcome to A Year in Review. This is, I think, officially an annual tradition. I think I can say that now, right? This is the third year. Well, let's jump right into it then, shall we? Sorry, my light just moved if you just see my whole body quake. Oh my god. That's funny I said that because I just got jump scared by Freddy Fazbear. We started web series, which, oh my goodness. So January was starting the creation process itself. February was still way more in that. We began casting and everything. But this is when, I believe the end of February, we actually started filming our web series and doing everything. And I was on the exec board for this project. Essentially, I directed a documentary, like a full-length 45-minute documentary, about my class creating our own web series from conception, development to premiere, and now it is available to go stream, and I will be putting it down in the description below because this project truly was kind of the next 4 months. Rather recently, it is out to the world for everyone to see, but the whole project itself took place over exactly, beautifully, 100 days. That was probably one of my biggest accomplishments of the whole year. I also did a little quirky thing for my schooling, and I did something that I alluded to a lot the year prior, which was I declared my second major. If you watched my Oppenheimer Barbie review earlier this year, you've definitely heard me mention it a few times already, but I am officially a film, theater, and history major. I don't know what I'm doing, y'all. I will say I only have 1 year left until I'm expected to graduate, so I am getting there, but I am doing a lot at the same time and keeping myself very busy. March. In March, we picked up filming the majority of the web series. This is when everything really kicked off for both the web series team itself and the documentary team, which I led. And yeah, we did scouting and filming this month, and I got so much good photography. March is also obviously my birthday month, and this year I didn't do much. Isaac gifted me this for my birthday, and I have to share it with you all. The giant squid, actually, literally. Plushie. Alright, now let's talk about April. I started my job, that was this April, right? I think, yeah. Working at the sustainability office on my campus as their videographer and photographer. That feels like 10 years ago now, honestly, but I guess it was technically April. And we happened to have the opportunity this year to do a little abroad program if we so chose, and I might have taken advantage of it again. So Tim and I became quite close while he was here, and I decided, hey, I'm gonna do this program because they actually offered some funding for it, and in April I might have bought a plane ticket. The end of April, I also hosted the only D&D game I think I played all last year, which makes me incredibly sad. I did watch so much Critical Role this year, but I'll just put that here as a single statement and not anywhere else because I watched it all year, really. Finally, I left this until the end of April because I don't remember exactly when it happened, but it was by far the most fun thing I did in all of April, I think, despite everything else. And that was that I finally saw the Northern Lights. And one day I just so happened to be outside with Tim and with, well, it started off only Tim, and then I called Adrian and I was like, we're actually seeing them in Wisconsin, like this is insane, on like the strongest night of at least the beginning of the year. And I called Adrian and she ran out, and then I texted Wes, and I texted Lena, who I'm only like casual friends with, but I texted them and they came, and it was just like this awe moment for all of us. It was all of our first time seeing them also, which made it super special. But what honestly made it memorable is that Wes is like our big tech guy on campus. Truck, car, whatever it was, packed to the ceiling with equipment. So Adrian and I just like, and Tim, penciled ourselves on top of equipment while driving down dirt back roads into a field for like 20 minutes. It was wild. It was hilarious. We got good pics. We got good memories. It was just a highlight of my whole year, honestly. May brought about the end grind of the web series production. There it is, right there. You can't, I guess you can a little bit. But yeah, the end and the premiere. We had a whole premiere with like almost sold out, like 250 seat venue. It was crazy. It was very cool. It was like a proper red carpet moment, which was just, it was just a very special day in general. Tim came to my house for not just 1 or 2 days, I think like 3 to 5 days, somewhere in there. And I guess I kind of forgot about a lot of this. We just hung out a lot. And June came just a few short weeks later, and it was a busy one. I went to my first concert of the year, shockingly, in June. You'll see why I say that later on, but I seen Silver Warehouse play at a teeny tiny outdoor, I think it was a fundraising thing, near where I live, and, you know, known them forever. They're amazing. They're lovely. I will hype them up literally whenever I get to. I think I hyped them up in last year's video as well. The same day, actually, was Newborn Village, and I went there, and my first Ren Fair of the year, I ended up going 2 days in a row with Kenzie, and that was great. We filmed a video about that also, I believe, on the channel. A couple meager days passed, and June brought me to Germany. I went back to that airport, hopped back on that plane, flew to Frankfurt, and I got to see Tim again at his house and do a little mini project there. Met 2 lovely people, CJ and Maeve, who saved my soul over there. And Morose. Oh my god, Morose literally saved my life one night. I told the story recently, so I'll tell a very short version of it here. Basically, a semi-drunk person told me to get off of a bus at like 1 a.m. and I, long story short, got stranded on the middle of like a 7-lane highway at 2 a.m. with no other buses, in a rainstorm, with no one else, completely alone in Germany, and Morose had to come save me in a hectic manner, which was crazy in a lot of ways. I met Tim's wonderful girlfriend, Jeanette, and Tim's bandmates briefly. That was a weird day, but I did meet them, and they were all very kind as well. Country review, not a massive fan of Frankfurt. Mainz was cool, Wiesbaden was cool. Initial review of Germany is that I didn't love it that much. It was just kind of fine, compared to everywhere else I've gone. In general, it was amazing, obviously. But yeah, I would love to go to North Germany, is what that trip taught me. But more importantly, because of the funding of this trip, I stayed longer than the 10 days that we were supposed to stay. And I hopped on a little train, took a little Zoom, and did my first ever, and this I'm very genuinely proud of, solo trip in Europe, completely by myself. And I went to Geneva, Switzerland for 5 days, and I just lived out of a hostel, did everything. It's such a lovely, expensive, but beautiful city, and I loved it there so much. I actually was going to do a couple other places, and then I ended up settling on it because my friend Maggie back at home did a whole France semester, and she went to Switzerland, and she loved it, and I was like, it's very close to Frankfurt, I'm gonna send it, and I ended up choosing there and loving it and having a very good time. My last day of the Geneva trip, I took a day bus into France. I still do not know how to pronounce this. NSA is what I will call it. And I went there for a day, so I did check France off my list. I counted it because I was on the ground doing stuff for at least 6 hours, I think. Went to France alone with no data as an American female. I'm so proud of myself. I wore my Seek Discomfort clothes and I was thriving. July. Anyone want to take any guesses? Oh, it's Fall Out Boy. I got to see Fall Out Boy for the second time. But the wild part about that is I was a member of the audience of the Chaos show of the year, of the century, of the decade. I was at the infamous now Fall Out Boy Somerset. Which was the event that got Thunder and Lightning stormed out immediately, after Bring Me the Horizon finished their set, and we all thought it was going to be canceled. It was kind of amazing in a weird way, despite how horrible it was, because we got to run in a crowd that could have easily led to crowd crush, the rain and lightning, to a big field and wait in the car for like 3 hours. I think in total probably a little over 10% of the entire audience left, and then security gave up on trying to get people back in, and then everyone flooded inside, and we ended up at second barrier, which is not up to the stage, it's like the back of the general admission. just, it was wild. It was actually one of the craziest experiences of my life. And despite the horror and still dismay of only getting a half set, which I'm so sad about, the fact I have not heard 16 Candles to this day makes me want to physically weep. It was a very cool experience, and I cannot fault it for that. And I went with Kenzie, and it was her first ever concert, and having that be her first ever concert as someone who's gone to like 30 at this point, wow, I can't imagine being her and having that be my first show. Here he is. So yeah, so much for Stardust. Also, just a fantastic album and a joy to have this year. We also got Hozier's new album as well this year, which, whew, so good. It was a year of great music. I also went to Ryan in the Glen for the second time this year? Second or third time. I went with Sydney actually, and then Kenzie came later on in the day, and we just had a really good time. Alright, okay. Okay. Let's move on to August. This month was chaotic. So if you're interested in hearing about my wild year of concerts, please go check out the first episode of this podcast that we never continued, and we might continue later on, maybe, at least a couple more episodes, because it talks about more in depth of the concert aspects of this video, especially if you're interested in things like concert photography or just bands and media in general. But let's just start in order, shall we? As all good things do. I got to see Honey Creek in person, but playing this time for the first time ever. Now I'm super bummed out because apparently they're not going to be making music like actively anymore, which crushes my soul. But yeah, I got to get my old CD signed and buy their new EP from this year. Look at that. And I also got to do some photography while I was there and with Sydney, and we had a great time. Highly recommend these guys. And I met Cece, which is Dylan's girlfriend from this band. And I didn't get a picture with Cece, and I'm still sad about this. And if you watch this, we must meet again for proof that it happened. But yeah, I thoroughly loved this and loved this EP this year. This was another highlight of my year, I think. I do have Unreal on Earth somewhere. Oh, wait! I mentioned Hosier before. Up here. I have the signed Unreal on Earth there. Support musicians, guys. Buy their physical stuff. It helps them so much, especially small bands. And at the Honey Creek show, I learned of a little someone else's existence. I met this guy, this little guy right here. If anyone follows me who's into the hyperpop scene, which I didn't even know existed, Glitchgum. And let me tell you, this guy is the kindest, funniest, down-to-earth guy I've ever met. So sweet. And I did Honey Creek's photos, and I ended up sending his to him as a song that speaks to me on like such a strangely personal level that I like can't describe it. He has a song called Highland Cow Plushies. Guys, I lived in Scotland for a year, and the lyrics in the song are literally, when I'm 20, don't know what to do, Highland Cow Plushies in my room. How'd he do that? I showed him the picture of my phone while he was singing, and he laughed, and then we talked afterwards, and that was, I made the best first impression I think I could have possibly ever made for anyone. I might have peaked at that very moment right there. So yeah, that's my strange little story about meeting Glitchgum. I won't say the name, but I also started working at a photography studio this year doing school portraiture, which was just great. I also doubled it as my internship, so I got to do that. Now, here's the part where I will reiterate that video I talked about, that you should go watch, the My Summer in Concerts very long video with Adrian, because I don't want to talk about this for 10 years, because I really could, and I adored every single second of it. Mayday Parade were one of the headliners, and I love them dearly. This is signed Mayday Parade stuff. I have not met them, those are from artist drops, but I through a long chain of beautiful synchronicities and the best look I could have ever had, I got to do photography for the event, get like a proper photo pass for the first time in my life. I was not paid, unfortunately, but I don't even super care. I ended up winning a separate contest to upgrade my tickets to VIP. I got a permission and approved to do media, and I accidentally, completely like unrelated, for the third, fourth time, got a meet and greet badge to meet Charlotte Sands, and I met Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, most of them anyways, and the lovely people in the VIP section were so nice and just fun to talk to, and I swapped out a front row barricade seat for Mayday Parade, and I seen Plain White Tees do like Hey There Delilah live, and the main, who I wasn't like a big fan of before, I barely knew any of them besides like Black Butterflies, which everyone knows, and I'm a massive fan now, and I got some of the best photos I think I've ever taken in my life of John from the main. Same with Derek in Mayday Parade. It was just hands down one of the best days of my entire life, with the most synchronicities lining up for me ever. Only thing that could have made it be better is if I somehow got paid for any of it, but it was worth it regardless. And I went with Amy. I got to take Amy to her first show. Also, taking people to first shows is kind of my thing, and they, I think, loved it, and it's in their like college town. It's so wild. I hope they come back. I think they're gonna come back. It sounds like they're planning to, and I have a portfolio now, is the wild thing. This and the rest of the year gave me like a massive portfolio, and I can't believe this was real. This is so special to me. Like, truly, this was, like, I had a media badge. I don't know if anyone knows who Jake Chams is, but he was, like, Panic's photographer and, like, Lord's Fall Out Boys a little bit before his accident. But he was and is a massive inspiration to me, and just knowing I got to do this in any capacity and do the other stuff I did this year, doing photography for photos, like, I wish I could get paid for it, but just having got to do it, even if I never do it again, really, really special and important for me. I ended the month joining forces with Amber's roommate Nathan, and Adrian, and we went and seen Lumineers and James Bay, who I also love deeply, and that seeing them live made me appreciate them so much more than I already did. I love them already, and now I like am mildly obsessed with them, especially the third album, 3 live, and I didn't even have good seats. Oh, guys, I touched God at this show. I've never had better luck in my entire life, I think, than in August, because he did an audience walk like a lot of bands do. He just so happened to walk near-ish me, but I was like, I've had a month, I have all this luck built up inside of me. I just ran. I ran like right away. I didn't wait. I didn't hesitate. I just trusted my instincts. I know this venue really well, which really helped also, and I just went for it. And guys, I not only was this close, however, was probably one of the most chill months of the year, despite being really busy with getting back into school for my fall semester. Most notably here, I moved in with Adrian, which brings me over to October. Spooky month. October was pretty great, guys. I really loved fall this year. Fall was so nice in weather, in practice, in photography. It was just a fun little time. I got to do a Keyleth-themed cosplay photo shoot, which was phenomenal, for my friend Tabitha. I will chuck some form of showing you that up here, but it was a beautiful shoot with fun edits, so good. This is the month we started working on my short film. Guys, I directed and edited a short film this year that is not out yet. There was a local premiere with unfinished audio, but the audio is 80% there, I would say, and I think I will probably release it, I think mid-February is going to get a public release. Mid-February, early March is when I will release it, but it is a over 20-minute long, emotional short film, and that's all I'll really say for now. The very beginning of November, though, the concerts do not stop here to go see Silver Warehouse again, but this time in a very special location. They played First Avenue. I'm so proud of them. I'm ridiculously proud of them. It was just a very cool experience. They did so well. Getting to see them with an actual crowd was crazy also, because the other like 3 times I've seen them have been like outdoor local settings, but this was like them in their element. It was just fantastic. The very next day after that, speaking of, I hopped in a car with Kenzie, and we went to Twin Cities Con. And I went to 2 days of that, and that was unexpected. Like, I knew it was going to happen, but it, like, didn't register at all, because she paid for the tickets months and months in advance, and then I was like, well, guess I'm going. So I threw together this super last-minute Gwen Stacy cosplay, went both days, very fun. The cosplay contest was probably my favorite part, getting to watch that on the last day. It was very cool. November is when we worked on our short film the most, probably. Lots of 8 to 10 hour days, lots of editing days. I was the only editor for it, which was a big workload. It was intense. Into December, we started working on a theater production of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Narnia. I was the lead lighting technician, lighting designer for it, and yeah, that was the rest, really, of my November. And by December, I just really grinded on that in tandem with finishing up our short film. Like, all our filming was finished, and then doing a hardcore grind to get an edit ready for our rough premiere. Guys, this is so funny. Be Real just went off. Be real, guys, be real. Oh no. I also will throw up my Marvel ranking right here for the year. I made this a while ago, and I don't have What If on here. I think I'm going to put What If in the A tier, just so you all know at home and for me in the future. I haven't checked my year stats in over 2 months. So I'm about to check my 2023 Spots FM stats for the first time. We have some upset! We have an upset. This is why I don't trust Spotify Wrapped, because this makes more sense to me. In 5th place, we have Mayday Parade. In 4th place, we have BTS. 3rd place, Silver Warehouse. 2nd place, Hozier. And 1st, Fall Out Boy. I'll read out the others for top 10, just quick as well. 6th, Lumineers. 7th, The Oh Hellos. 8th, Panic is still kicking in there. 9th, AJR. And 10th, Set It Off, which is such a great list. And 21 Pilots is the 11th, so you know. I started off the year pledging 50 books, and about halfway through the year, I dropped that down to 30 because I didn't know how much traveling I was going to be doing, and then the concerts started piling up. However, I did meet and beat my 30 goal. I got 36 books this year. Here's a sticker update for you all as well. Alright, and here I'm going to add a art carousel. Enjoy.
We've been talking over something casual, and you got that wonder, supernatural. Breathe you in, hold it out, come around, and I know I'ma keep you in view.
I think, guys, we're nearing the end. Tell me how your year went. I would love to hear how other people's years went and their favorite moments. Highlights of the year. If you did spend any of the year with me, I'd love to hear some of your favorite memories of the year. These are fun. They're really hard for me mentally to get myself to do them because I know how much work they take to film and to edit. But I'm glad I filmed it. I'm glad I made it. It might get a week late this year, but that's all right. It's gonna have to do. The ADHD's kicking my ass a little bit right now, and I definitely, after this year, needed a break. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon in the next video.
Where could this be going? I think